What's going on, everybody? This is JohnJake Baseball on the mic here, coming at you with some USBL gameplay for the entire month of August. It's going to be a good one as we're starting to get closer to the end of the regular season here in year number 2. So guys, it's going to be a really great episode for you guys. We're going to take a look at the standings after we check out some of these games, as well as take a closer look at some of the award races around the league as well. So good episode on tap. I'm sure you guys are excited for it, and if you am, make sure you go ahead, smash that like button for me, hit subscribe as well if you happen to be brand new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, man. You know, got MLB content specifically on this channel. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get things underway here. Bottom of the second inning is where we'll jump in, and we got a key matchup between the Minnesota Ducks and the Chicago Freeze. Now, these are two teams that are in contention to be on top of the AL Central, and that's a really key thing because ain't nobody trying to go into a one-game death match in the wild card. At the end of the season, Minnesota had to go through that, ran out of gas before they got even to the the ALDS, lost to Chicago Freeze, so trying to avoid that for sure. As we will go ahead, take a look at what's going down. Minnesota, we're looking pretty good so far. 1-0 lead. Ramon Laureano, he can go in and try to add on to this lead a little bit. Gets it out deep in the center field. Alex Verdugo is able to go ahead and track that down, but at the same time, you do end up seeing the Minnesota Ducks get a couple of runs on the board. So definitely a good look for sure, as we'll see if Chicago can finally strike back. Top of the 5th inning, and very first pitch in the quick counts at bat for Kyle Seager. He sends a moonshot out into right center field. The 11th home run of the season for him. So not a ton of homers for him, but you absolutely love to see it. Do have the quick counts on for all of these games, just so that we can get through the games a little bit quicker, save a little bit of time for me on my end, you know what I'm saying. As Minnesota actually does respond with Mitch Heiger. He hits his 17th homer of the season. Chicago, they got to go ahead and go into their bullpen, calling in Nick Pavetta. And is going to actually go ahead and get Thad Gonzalez to strike out, and strikes out swinging as well. But solo shot does increase the lead back up to 2 runs here. So now we'll go ahead, jump into the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll see if Will Smith can go ahead and get this one out into right field. It's looking pretty good. Does it end up carrying the ballpark though? And it does. Ends up being a solo shot. 28th home run of the season for him, and another solo shot for him, and that's going to make it a 4-1 lead. So now we see the Chicago Freeze. They're down by a few runs, but a little bit of hope here, as Fernando Tatis Jr. ends up bobbling that ball. So it should have been a routine grounder to get Jose Abreu out here in the top of the 7th inning. Does not end up being that way, and that is one of the weaknesses of Tatis Jr.'s game. That's why he's not a 99 overall. Could be better on the defensive end, and that error is actually going to come back and haunt them a little bit here, because very next at bat you see Chris Taylor, who ends up hitting his 10th home run of the season, and Chicago goes right back into this thing. They're only down by 1 run at the end of the day. James Bezos, he comes in to try to close things out a little bit better, but Chicago's on a run, man. They're trying to come back and tie this thing, and right now we see a double out there into right center field by Reese McGuire. And how about keeping up your hitting streak in a big way? That's gonna count as the 7th consecutive game that Reese McGuire comes down with a hit. He does unfortunately get stuck at second base, so Chicago is not able to tie this game. But that being said, though, what we will end up seeing is we got a lot closer of a game, and now Minnesota, we'll see if they can go ahead and respond, get a little bit of insurance back up on the board, as we'll see Thad Gonzalez come up to the plate here. 0 for 2 on the day so far. 1-1 pitch coming with the delivery. It gets that out into right center field. It's a gapper, and that will end up bringing a run home, and Minnesota is going to go ahead and get a little bit of insurance on the board, courtesy of Thad Gonzalez, the 18th double of this entire season for him. So now Will Harris comes into the game here, facing off against Tatis Jr., and Tatis will end up grounding out. So Will Harris does his job, makes sure that no more insurance runs do end up getting across. But that being said, that last run does end up being the difference at the end of the day. We will see the Minnesota Ducks will come out on top. They do defeat the Chicago Freeze by a score of 5-3 in what was certainly a very crucial game. So speaking of crucial games, of course, want to check in on another matchup in around the USBL that at least was showing up on the network. We got the Charlotte Cougars and the Phoenix Firebirds. The battle between two extremely disappointing teams, and I don't know exactly what's going on with the Phoenix Firebirds, to be honest with you guys, because Phoenix on paper looks like they should be the best team in the league. They got all this star talent all around the lineup, and yet I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe they're just not gelling well. I seriously do not know what's going on. But that being said, Phoenix is struggling right now, and Charlotte is also on that, but on a slightly lesser scale. They do have a top 10 team in terms of talent, but Charlotte just has not been able to put it all together here. We'll see if maybe this game right here can be a spring point for one of these teams. Not necessarily to go ahead and make the playoffs, but maybe to get some better momentum going into season number 3. And also getting a look at some of the younger players on this roster as well. Charlotte particularly, they need a new answer at first base. I know that for sure because Joey Votto is starting to decline at a pretty rapid pace. You do need somebody at that first base position in the future. We'll see what Charlotte ends up doing there in the future. But in the meantime, Tim Anderson hits a really nice ball, hits the outfield wall extremely quickly. And Tim Anderson, he's going to get himself a double. And we're still in this top of the first inning, you guys. We are not even done yet. Tim Anderson with an 11-game hitting streak right now. It will end up bringing Ian Happ, who is on base, but Tim Anderson, he steals third base and is gonna be considered safe. Can't even get the tag down. Look at this steal by Tim Anderson. You want to talk about some boldness. Good thing that throw was just a little bit offline. And listen, Tim Anderson, he's going to be able to come home because of it. And you want to talk about a manufactured run for the Charlotte Cougars? That is the broadest definition of a manufactured run. That's what you like to see. Unfortunately, same cannot be said for Joey Votto, who ends up striking out on a pitch that he normally wouldn't swing at, to be honest with you guys. But Charlotte comes out strong here in the top of the first inning. They get 3 runs in the first, and doing so with a really good pitcher on the mound for Charlotte, Shane Bieber. ERA under 3. He did declare himself as a free agent in year number 1, but did end up deciding to stay, so that's a big boost for Charlotte. But not the very best of start for him today. Juan Soto was able to tee off of him. He's going to get a solo shot, and it will be the 24th home run of the season for him. And interesting enough, it also takes us to the bottom of the 4th inning, where Juan Soto, he's feeling himself. He's trying to carry this Phoenix squad, as not only does he not get 1 home run, oh no, he's going to end up getting a 2nd home run here as well. So a fantastic day for Juan Soto. Not getting a ton of help though. They're still down by 1, but here's another home run deep down into center field. It's Luke Vogt who's going to get busy with him. This time there was a runner on base. So that will go ahead and make it a 4-3 lead here for the Phoenix Firebirds. As now George Soler looking to go to work here. 0-1 count. Soler, he sends this out into right field. This is another home run. It really is. So 3 home runs in the same inning for the Phoenix Firebirds. And now we're looking at a 5-3 lead as of right now. The inning will end up ending eventually as Shane Bieber will get out of it. But you want to talk about a really rough inning? Oh, we certainly saw that out of Shane Bieber there. But it's not like the starter on the other side is looking good as well. Bowden Francis does get subbed out. For Alex Young, he comes into a really sticky situation, and he actually ends up walking Marcell Ozuna and really just breaking that golden rule when it comes to pitchers. You do not walk in a run. That is simply something that cannot happen. So bases are still loaded. There's nobody out. Tim Anderson will end up hitting into a double play, but because that action was forced at second and first base, the Charlotte Cougars were still able to go ahead and tie things up here in the top of the 5th inning. And you'll actually remain tied at 5 for a little while. We go ahead, jump into the bottom of the 7th, and Phoenix got an inning brewing, man. See runners on first and second base, and took a little bit here, but Jeff McNeil does keep his hitting streak alive. His is now up to 7 games. But now we see some runners in scoring position here. Gene Segura, 1 for 3 so far, and hits that one right into the hole. This could bring in a run that will give Phoenix the lead, and it does. Will be considered safe, cannot get the tag around in time. And now Phoenix got themselves a 6-5 lead. Looks to get it up a little bit more as that ends up successfully dropping. Also will end up being a double. So Phoenix ends up with yet another run. 7-5 lead for the Firebirds. As we will see the Charlotte Cougars go to the bullpen. Jonathan Wazinga, I think is how you say his name. If you guys have a correct pronunciation for me, let me know down in the comments. You know, sometimes we're just out here pure guessing. And, that's the first out of the inning. How about that? Caught the runner napping a little bit. You know, thought he was able to get a free run in. That did not happen. Kind of blended the momentum a little bit as now we go into the top of the 9th inning. Josh Hader's in the game, looking to get the save. And David Bodie, if you want to start a 9th inning, make a comeback when you're down by 3 runs, that is certainly the way to go about it, man. I'll tell you what, 8-6 lead now. But you still got 2 more outs that they need, even after that strikeout. So, Charlotte, down by 2 runs. You got 2 outs left to work with. Still need some serious help to get back into this game here. Otherwise, this game will be over. But Garrett Stubbs able to get that one out into the outfield. Looking to go 2 bases. And does just that. So, we see Garrett Stubbs. 13th double of the season, and that brings up Kevin Newman, and this man's been doing pretty good today. 3 for 4, has 2 runs scored to his name, tying run at the plate, and if this leaves the ballpark, this game is going to be tied, and it does just that. Wow, Kevin Newman, how about that for being in a clutch situation? And Charlotte is not done yet. Time ball game at 8 runs apiece thus far. Oh my goodness gracious. As now we will end up seeing Marcell Ozuna all knotted up at 8 apiece here. So definitely an interesting situation here. And we do end up seeing us go into extra innings. Phoenix could not end up responding somehow, so we're here in the top of the 10th inning, and we see Ian Happ hit a home run himself, and now Charlotte, who by the way was down 8-5 in the top of the 9th inning, they now take the lead here in the top of the 10th inning. They won't end up getting more runs at the plate. Joey Votto just kind of having a hard time right now, right? But Rowan Wick, the closer for the Charlotte Cougars, comes into this game now, and now he has an opportunity to save. Does he blow it as well, or are we going to see him save this game? Right now, not looking too good. Runner's going to get around. Could be the tying run. He's going to be waved home, and they're not going to even attempt the throw home. And now Phoenix has responded with a tied ball game themselves. Is now George Soler, he has a chance to go in and try to save the day, but ends up striking out. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 10th. It brings up Austin Noah. 282 on the year so far. A good season, but a not so good day so far. 0 for 3. Has reached on base 1 time back in the 8th inning because of a walk, but no hits for him just yet. Now would be an extremely good time to get that hit. We'll see if Austin Noah can deliver. 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Rowan Wick. He gets a grounder out into the outfield. There's going to be an attempt home. Is it going to be in time? Yes, it is. Austin Noah gets the single, but we'd see the potential game-winning run is an out. It keeps the game going a little bit longer, but you can't throw anybody out if you can't keep the ball in the ballpark. Louis Calhoun, knowing that, hits the game-winning home run, baby. Oh my goodness. How about that mustache by the guy in the middle? That is a A1 mustache. You know, one of the best mustaches in the USBL, no question. But we'll see Louis Calhoun play some hero, man. And the Phoenix Firebirds, they come out on top. It was an exciting game, winning 11-9. So there's one more game that I wanted to show you guys here in this episode, and then we'll jump into the standings as well as the award races for both the American League and the National League. There's a battle brewing in the National League West right now. It's the San Francisco Saints and San Francisco Seals and the LA Saints right now going at each other once again for another series. This is turning into a rivalry now. These two teams, of course, did end up meeting up in the playoffs back in year number 1, and San Francisco actually did beat Los Angeles, even though LA did win the division. But that being said, you know, these two teams have been pretty neck and neck with each other all season long, and a series like this would really help determine, you know, whether a team can really separate in the month of August. Even, you know, this late in the season, there is still quite a bit of baseball that is left to be played, but you know, at the same time, though, you know, if you can really build that lead for yourself, that will really help your baseball club, you know, so that you can play with a little less tightness. And right now, LA's having fun right now. Freddie Freeman getting a 2-run shot here, trying to get the same thing from Trevor Story. He was looking to swing for the fences, but will end up getting the strikeout there. So it does bring up Mike Yastrzemski, who's also looking to keep the inning alive. But Blake Snell, besides the 2-run home run that he gave up to Freddie Freeman, he does end up striking out the side. But Los Angeles looks really good to start things out. They're up 2-0 early, but they're going to need a lot of runs if they're going to beat this San Francisco squad on a consistent basis. This is one of the best offenses in the USBL. You want to talk about a team that's, you know, filled with some quality guys. Back in the All-Star Game episode, they had 4 guys as All-Star Game stars. You know, you're looking at a Nick Castellanos, a Freddie Freeman. You also, Josh Donaldson is what I meant. But you also got like an Ozzy Albies. Salvador Perez, I think, also made the All-Star Game. So this is a very high-quality baseball team, especially in its top end, 4 starters. You know, and some of them, you know, they're either in their primes right now or they're just a little bit under 30 years old, so they can keep up that production for a while. The question for San Francisco is, once they're through their prime, are they going to have a farm system in place to keep up that kind of competitiveness? You know, not necessarily maybe be a championship contender, but at least still be fun to watch, still give fans something to hope for at the end of the day. So something to really think about as we go in through the rest of the series, because, you know, I want to see this go for at least until MLB The Show 22 comes out. We'll see what MLB 22 has in store, or even through 22, and maybe have like this series going for like MLB The Show 21, and then do a separate series on this channel here for MLB The Show 22. Let me know what you guys would think about that down in the comments, by the way. I'd really appreciate that. Maybe do like a regular franchise in 22, or even like a road to the show, you know what I'm saying? Just about we don't consistently have like franchise. As Nick Castellanos just misplays that ball there. Trevor Story gonna get an RBI double out of it. So Mike Trubisky, he has a runner in scoring position to work with, but he ends up getting blown by Blake Snell, man. That is an extremely tough look, man. End of the third inning already. And so a 4-2 lead for the LA Saints. Definitely a back and forth affair. You know, I know I haven't really talked specifically about this game very much, but like I said, this is going to be a very back and forth affair. You know, seeing a lot of runs, seeing a lot of hits here early. As speaking of hits, there's Josh Donaldson with an RBI double. As now, Salvador Perez, he hits a weak grounder down to the second baseman. It does end up getting fielded, but San Francisco does end up getting a run across on the board. As now, Seth Beer looking to go to work, single and an RBI to his name. As now, he's 1 for 1 so far on the day. As now, Kyle Hendricks coming with the delivery. He hits this one out in the center field. Kyle Lewis giving chase. He does end up catching it. But that being said, that ball did end up being deep enough. And we will see San Francisco tie this game up at 4 apiece after 4 innings of play. So, got tie ball games, basically 0-0 in the eyes of many of these baseball players on the field today. As Ozzie Albies does a fantastic job with an opposite field hit. Nobody really even out there in left field. You know, everyone was shifted to the right. Ozzie Albies does a great job taking advantage of it. It's another extra base hit. He's been doing great with doubles and triples. That is 39th double of the year, man. That is insane to think about. As now, Paul Goldsmith looking to go to work. Another guy that was at the All-Star Game festivities in the last episode. He was there. And I think it wasn't Salvador Perez. It was actually him that made it to the All-Star Game. And was there for the home run derby as well. He gets the RBI single. So, and you can see why this offense is so good. Look at their lead. They have actually a pretty sizable lead against the rest of the National League. They're, of course, number 1. They might have the best offense in the entire USBL. And that's even better than, say, the Chicago Freeze over in the World Series. That's why they were so competitive, even though they only won like 85 to 88 games last year, because the pitching rotation was a little bit shaken. But this year, man, San Francisco's pitching rotation is a little bit better. It's not elite, but it is good, and that might be enough given how good this offense is for the San Francisco Seals. But I mean, they still got to worry about this game in front of them. LA giving them the business here. Still all tied up at 5 apiece, as we'll go ahead, jump into the bottom of the 6th inning. We got some John Curtis action here. Kyle Lewis looking to go ahead, get to work here. 1 for 2 thus far on the day, but Kyle Lewis gets a good hold of a baseball. It's down the left field, and it barely doesn't leave the ballpark. It hit the upper part of that wall a few feet higher, and that would have given the LA Saints the lead. I'm sure Patrick Dwyer would like to change that. He tries to give them the lead, but John Curtis out here making them look silly. So now it's Alejandro Kirk's time right now, trying to get the ball in, and that's nearly caught by Nicholas Castellanos. Will end up being an RBI single. Oh, that could have saved a run, but just outside of the reach of Castellanos. So now LA has the lead here, and somehow able to get this ball through as well on top of it. Runners at second and third. Unfortunately for the Saints, both of them will be stranded. So now we jump into the bottom of the 8th inning. Shane Green looking to get to work here, prevent the insurance run, so San Francisco actually has a chance to come back and, you know, make something shake here. Is now Brandon Ninmo, 1 for 4 on the day so far. Second hit of the ball game. This could bring in yet another run as well. Throw's going to be close, but not enough juice on the throw. at the end of the day, and LA gets exactly what they're looking for, an insurance run. Not to mention there's also Freddie Freeman at the plate. He's pretty electric as well with his bat. Gets it over the first baseman. And now this could potentially bring in 2 runs. One's already in, confirmed. Can a second one get in? Yes, it does. So Freddie Freeman with 2 RBIs here. And that could be the potential dagger in this ball game. Dan Aldavilla coming in a little too late. It's 12 appearance and actually been pretty solid so far. 2.7 ERA. Does improve it just a little bit. Getting that last out against Trevor Story. But like I said, man, LA was able to get those insurance runs and are able to leverage that in order to get the dub at the end of the day. Los Angeles does go ahead and make up a little bit of ground in the NL West. They do end up winning by a final score of 9-5. What a game. So seeing as we only have about a month of baseball left to play, let's go ahead and check out the standings throughout the USBL. We got some interesting races going down. First and foremost, we have the Minnesota Ducks, who do currently have the best record in baseball. But that being said, though, the Chicago Freeze are certainly trying to go ahead and make this interesting. They're just 4 games back in the AL Central. And then we even have Chicago, or not the Chicago Freeze, but the Pittsburgh Force trying to make some moves as well. They're on an 8-game winning streak right now. They're trying to make a run at this thing. And then even the Columbus Gents look to be pretty competitive themselves. 66-63 record right now. They look competitive at least for that wild card spot. Then in the American League West, this is all Hawaii, man. If they find a way to lose this division, I swear to sweet baby Jesus, Hawaii will never end up winning anything significant in this series. They have a 78-49 record right now, which is right behind. Actually, technically, they actually have the best record in baseball. They aren't the closest to 80 wins, but their win percentage is like 2 points higher, and they have a 12-game win lead over teams like Las Vegas. They're 5 games over 500, and then the San Antonio Outlaws too. They're 14 games ahead, and not to mention Houston and Seattle not doing so hot either. Then in the American League East, it's probably going to be the most underwhelming division in at least the American League side of things. The Boston Quakers are currently leading this thing, but they only have 69 wins so far, and that's not nice compared to the other division winners. You're looking at a 3 seed right now, looking to face either a Minnesota or a Hawaii. I mean, that's going to be a really tough matchup either way. Not having home field advantage for that. So you like to see that record get a little bit higher. But that being said, with Boston being so weak of a division winner potentially, you got a team like the Baltimore Stone Crabs who are sitting at 500 right now, but they can still make a run at this thing for sure. Talking about 5.5 games away from Boston right now. They can make a run at it. They're similar in talent. They can get that timely hitting together. They can certainly make something shake. New York's not looking too good. 12 games back. Atlanta, they're in selling mode. And then particularly Cleveland, they're also in a huge selling mode right now. Cleveland actually might end up with the first overall pick a year after winning this division. Oh my, how the mighty have fallen. So we get to the wild card race over in the American League, and right now what I'm seeing, we saw a 2-way tie for the second wild card, and right now it could end up finishing that way as well. It's certainly possible. Definitely some teams that are still in the mix. Chicago got pretty good control over that first wild card seed. That's definitely established. But right now, Las Vegas and Pittsburgh are both tied for that second wild card. And that's off the fact that Las Vegas, they're currently on a 5-game losing streak, and Pittsburgh is on an 8-game winning streak right now. That certainly helps out the cause. Columbus is only a game back. San Antonio is only a couple games back. Baltimore is also just 2.5 games back in the American League wild card. And even teams like New York, you got Houston, they still have of a fringe shot at it. Even the Seattle Pilots, they got a fringe shot at this thing as well, but they need a really hot September to get back into it. But realistically, we're looking at 6 teams, actually 5 teams probably fighting for 2 spots or just 1 spot, because Chicago looks pretty secure right now. They got a pretty solid lead over Las Vegas, over Pittsburgh. I expect Chicago to be back in the postseason after winning the World Series last year. But we'll see what ends up happening in this American League wildcard. So then in the National League, we jump over there, and we got a pretty good race over there too. It's going to come down to these 2 teams, the Washington Senators, who their free agent acquisitions, they certainly have helped quite a bit with the development of this team overall. Even though maybe not the best looking team on paper, they found a way to win games. And then you got the team that won the National League East last year, had the best record in the National League. We got the Philadelphia Patriots, 70-56 to go along with it. It's just a 3.5 game difference between these 2 squads, so should be some great baseball that we get to watch as we get into this month of September. And then we also jump into the National League Central, which once again probably is the weakest division in baseball in terms of top end talent. Indianapolis, who they did have some nice free agent acquisitions. You got some new talent. You should on paper be a really good baseball team, but that being said, in the simulation, it just hasn't necessarily happened. They're just kind of average, you know, like they're literally tied right now with the Aurora Lightning. They're also trying to make a push for that division title. Milwaukee, they held the lead for much of the season. They're still only a 1.5 games back, even though they certainly have fizzled off a little bit in the second half of the season. And then even Louisville and Memphis, they're still fringe shots. They just need a hot September to get back in the race. They're not mathematically out either, so you know, probably the only division where you can really say that all 5 teams have more than just a fringe shot at winning the division. But that's not just because, you know, the teams in there are actually good. It's more so just how bad this division is all around. Still, I think the worst division in baseball, in my opinion. And that leaves us with the National League West. Now, look at this, guys. Los Angeles and San Francisco fighting for that division crown. Right now, Los Angeles, defending division champions, they got the lead. But that being said, the San Francisco Seals are just a half game back. You know that they're good at this time of year. They made that run to the World Series, almost beat the Chicago Freeze, took them to 7 games in that World Series. It's a half game away. Meanwhile, Phoenix has been really disappointing at the same time. 10 games back in the division, probably will find a way to miss the playoffs unless their September ends up being really good. They're supposed to be the best team on paper. Now, granted, they're an average pitching staff. They're in a good, not great defensive team, but you want to talk about biggest disappointments in the USBL? This has to be it right here. This is disgusting. So that does leave with the National League wildcard, and as of right now, we're looking at how San Francisco has the first wildcard and Philadelphia has that second wildcard. That being said, though, there's still quite a few teams that are still in this thing. Indianapolis and Aurora, they're both 4 games back. So that's why winning that NL Central is extremely important. Same thing for Milwaukee. They're 5.5 games back. Phoenix is 7.5 games back in the wild card. They're 10 games back in the division, 7.5 in the wild card. Dangerously close to missing the postseason once again after you get a guy like Aaron Judge who's supposed to help you make that push, get you over the top. That hasn't happened. Charlotte's been disappointing. And then you got also, you know, the New Orleans Kings. They fell off, unfortunately. That's a little bit more expected, though. But yeah, really tough look overall. And look at Denver. Denver, 47 in ADV, might end up with the first overall pick. It's right now a coin toss between them and Cleveland as of right now. We'll see if there's going to be some tanking going on, or will we see those 2 teams between Cleveland and Denver actually compete, actually do something. We'll just have to wait and see. But what we also need to do as well is take a look at the award races. Wow, that was surprisingly really hard to say for both the American League and the National League as well. Now, looking at the American League for the time being, you're got a guy like Mike Trout right now leading the MVP race, batting really well, 317 for the time being, not showing any signs of decline yet, and looks really good in that process. 317 batting average, 37 homers, same as last season, but more RBIs. He's having a better year than last year, and is somebody that is definitely in the running for that MVP conversation. Now, as for the Cy Young Award, we got Noah Syndergaard, who's looking to lead the way, and look at this record. He's been impressive this year, ain't he? 15-3 so far, on pace to have a 20-win season, 2.81 ERA, 148 strikeouts to go with it. You also got Chris Sale in the conversation, and then Dylan Bundy also in that conversation as well for the Cy Young Award. As for the batting title, right now it goes to the best player with the highest batting average. You got Corey Seager leading the group, with Mike Trout and Garrett Cooper both on their heels as of right now. Corey Seager also in that MVP discussion, and doing it with a nice all-around effort, really. 38 home runs, 90 RBIs. That is both higher than last year, and we still got some games to play. We're not done yet with this season. We might see him eclipse that 40 home run mark unless he has a really bad September. As for the Reliever of the Year award, it's really down to just two pitchers in the American League right now. JB Wendelken seems like he has it unlocked right now. 43 saves, an ERA under 1.2. And that's blowing everybody else underwater. Really, the only other player that maybe you can throw in that discussion is Ken Giles, but he has less saves. He's allowed more runs. He does have a little bit more strikeouts, but it's JB Wendelken's award to lose at this point over in the American League. As for Rookie of the Year, right now, we've had some solid rookies. Luis Garbo has been solid. Tristan Cassius has been solid as well, but really, this is Danny Henderson's award, man. Like, Danny Henderson has been a stud for them in his first year at the USBL level. In 104 games played, batting average close to 300, 20 homers, 59 RBIs. Only a C potential guy, though, so not really a guy that's going to grow into a star, but I think they found somebody, at least for the next 3 to 4 years, where he can be their everyday first baseman. He certainly has proven that. As for the Hank Aaron Award, Mike Trout also in the lead for that. He is also leading the MVP race. Cody Bellinger is in this conversation. I'm actually surprised they're not looking at him, but maybe it's those lack of RBIs that has been hurting himself, but he does have 40 home runs. That is the most in the American League. And so that does go ahead and take us into the Gold Glove, and right now what it's looking like for each position is it would be Jacob Jonas, who is a relief pitcher. He would win the Gold Glove for the New York Knights. At first base is Christian Vasquez over at the catcher position. Also, for first base, not only winning the Rookie of the Year potentially, but also in the running for a Gold Glove, although Ken Grubb does have a higher fielding percentage, but maybe what's hurting him is he doesn't have as many putouts or assists as Danny Henderson and Ronald Guzma has. Certainly is an interesting race. For the Columbus Jets, you got Colton Wong currently in the lead for Gold Glove at the second base position, followed by Nolan Arenado over at third base, although Jose Ramirez for the San Antonio Outlaws is certainly giving him a run for his money. Nolan Arenado still on 99 overall. He won the Gold Glove last year. He's looking for the repeat. Over at shortstop, Didi Gregorius currently with a slight edge over Paul DeJong. Paul DeJong might be a little bit more deserving. We'll see if MLB The Show agrees with me or not. That's who I would pick out of these three candidates. Then we go into the outfield, and for the three outfielders right now, it's Michael Brantley, who still has not committed an error the entire season. Jake Marinowski, who won the Gold Glove last year, he's in the running for it, but definitely getting some good run from Brian Buxton and Luis Robert. We'll see if Marinowski can repeat. And then out there in right field, we got Joey Gallo, followed by Kyle Tucker. A close race here as well. Mookie Betts, who is the defending Gold Glove champ at right field, lagging behind a little bit. Up next now, we have the designated hitters, or the Silver Sluggers Award at designated hitter. We got Michael Sano with a 265 batting average, 32 homers, and 85 ribbies, helping out the Las Vegas Lounge Wizards. Then at catcher, we got Will Smith, who's been an absolute stud, destroying the field really with a 285 batting average, 33 homers, and 93 ribbies for the Minnesota Ducks. Then over at first base is Max Monksy, who had a really strong first half, but definitely has fallen off a little bit. But that home run production that he's had really has him over the top over someone like Garrett Cooper, who has a little bit more hits to the season. Then at second base, we got Keston Hiura for the Houston Hurricanes, but Whit Merrifield and Jonathan Villar might have something to say about that. Then at third base is Olario Suarez, who's helped the Pittsburgh Force be a competitive squad. A 306 batting average, 33 homers, 82 ribbies to go with it as well. Watch out, however, for Jose Ramirez and Manny Machado. Could be a close race there. So that does leave to round out the infield, actually. We got Corey Seager for the American League. Columbus Jets, 320, 38 homers, and 90 ribbies. Then in the outfield to round it out is Mike Trout of the Honolulu Islanders. Cody Bellinger for the Lounge Wizards. And then in right field is Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Columbus Jets. That rounds out your Silver Sluggers. So now we go ahead and check out the National League award winners, at least all the award races that are going down. And right now, we got ourselves a front runner here in Nick Castellanos. He's been balling out this year despite the fact that he's only an 80 overall. In the 128 games that he's played so far, 30 homers, 104 ribbies to go with it as well. A batting average sitting around 300, and this San Francisco squad has been pretty darn good. They have been balling out as of late, and it's been a big reason why he's up there in the MVP conversation for the National League with Bryce Harper and Aaron Judge, who's trying to do his best, but lagging behind a little bit. As for the Cy Young race, Lucas Giollo looks like a big favorite to win it all. Smallest ERA by a mile, a 2.1 ERA, better than any of the other candidates on board right now. And this is a guy that is not getting paid all that much at all. You know, definitely on a team-friendly contract in LA, certainly getting more than what they've asked for in this case. Up to a 92 overall and a Cy Young winner in the works, beating last year's Cy Young winner quite a bit. He won it last year, currently sitting in third place. As for the batting titles right now, we go ahead and see how the batting titles are going in terms of batting average. Right now, Luis Arias is leading the way in a really big batting average, batting 354 as of right now. And it's not even like it's a small sample size. In 120 games, over 450 at-bats, 354 batting average. Does only have 5 homers and 45 ribbies, so not driving in a ton of runs, but he is getting on base quite a bit. That bat on base percentage close to 43%. So definitely really helping out his team, doing what he can for that New Orleans Kings squad. As for the Rookie of the Year race so far, definitely got a couple of interesting candidates. Right now we do see Jason Dominguez of the Louisville Colonials, only 18 years old, but yet this is his first full year at the USBL level. He played a little bit in September back in season number 1, and he's been pretty good, man. 261 batting average, 9 homers, 43 ribbies to go with it as well. Not maybe a superstar, but certainly an all-star caliber player. We'll see how that turns out. But there's also a pitcher in here in Matthew Thompson who, you know, 10-5, 4.32 ERA, 112 strikeouts to go with it as well. He's been pretty good, and he's a potential guy. He's going to be a star in this league. As for the Hank Aaron Award right now, looks surprisingly Trey Turner is in the mix here. Now, that is certainly a surprise. I thought maybe they would go in the direction of Bryce Harper or Juan Soto, but maybe that batting average is a little bit too much to ignore. Despite the fact that Trey Turner, not known necessarily for his power. He's got okay power. Does have 22 home runs. That is a career high for him so far this season. Especially, but he's known for like base stealing. He's been a guy that's stolen at least 30 bases in the vast majority of those seasons. So that's maybe why he's put over the top. But Bryce Harper and Juan Soto are both making their cases too. Then we move over to the Gold Gloves for each position. Starting at pitcher, we got Tyler Anderson, a starting pitcher for the Denver Bald Eagles. They're in a position right now to go ahead and give him a Gold Glove, but who knows how long he stays at the USBL level because he's not that great of an actual pitcher. But hey, you like to see that, doing good stuff on the defensive end. At catcher, we got Wilson Ramos leading the way with almost closing in on 1,000 putouts too. He won Gold Glove last year. He's looking to repeat in that regard. Then at first base, we got Jamie Lessie, who is leading the way in fielding percentage as well. Just 23 years old, but he's already seen quite a little bit of run. Needs to work on his hitting a little bit, but doing very good on the defensive end for Jacksonville. At second base, we got Yomar Sanchez, who's looking to dethrone Ozzy Albies, who won it last year. Right now, looking to make a pretty good case for that. Then at third base, we got Javier Candiero leading the way, but not a great Gold Glove class over at third base. Nobody over 99%. But it looks like it's right now it's going to be pretty close between him, Matt Carpenter, and Jailo Ursula of the Phoenix Firebirds. Over at shortstop, we got another Gold Glove for the Jacksonville Suns in Alberto Mondesi, who has a pretty sizable lead over both Tim Anderson and Bryson Scott. Mondesi representing well for the Jacksonville Suns on defense. And that does take us to the outfield and yet another Jacksonville Suns player, Chad Pinder, who, granted, really tough time batting, 241 batting average to his name. He was actually in the hundreds at one point, but getting that batting average up, that's nice to see. He's looking to dethrone Marcell Ozuna, who's not on this top 3 list this year, chasing out away from Giancarlo Stanton and Marco Ibanez, who is essentially a rookie for the most part, doing good work there too on defense, but Chad Pinder looking to lead the way. Over in center field, we got Booker Hobbs, who is a USBL rookie as well, and hasn't made a single error the entire season. He should win Gold Glove. Then to round out the outfield is Aaron Judge, who came over from the Seattle Pilots. Maybe not hoping the Phoenix Firebirds go into the playoffs that much, but in personal accolades, Aaron Judge looks to have this thing locked up. Then we go over to the Silver Sluggers. Now, for some reason, it has it for pitchers instead of designated hitters. We have designated hitters in the USBL just to make the game more interesting. And right now, a little bit of controversy at catcher. Salvador Perez currently favored to win it as of right now. But that being said, though, I would say that Zach Collins and Austin Noah both have some say in that conversation, concerns of how well they're batting as well. Over at first base, got Paul Goldschmidt, who won Silver Slugger last year at the first base position. He looks to get that repeat and is in a pretty favorable position to do just that. Meanwhile, at second base, Ozzy Albies, while not in the Gold Glove conversation necessarily, doing phenomenal work at the plate, batting much better than what he did last season, to be honest with you guys. 271, 17 homers, 62 ribbies, but watch out for DJ LeMahieu of the Philadelphia Patriots. 305 batting average, 13 homers, 63 ribbies. He's in that conversation too. At third base, we have yet another Silver Slugger for the Seals in Josh Donaldson. They're just really cleaning out the awards as of right now. Donaldson batting close to 300 and looks to take that Silver Slug award home. And then to round out the outfield, no surprises here really in Trey Turner, who is favored to win the Hank Aaron Award as of right now, batting .323, 22 homers, and 78 ribbies. So that will go ahead and take us out into the outfield as of right now. And right now we're looking at Nick Castellanos, who's currently favored to win the MVP in the National League. Bryce Harper, who is slated to, he's also in that conversation for Silver Slugger at center field. And then from Mero Reyes, now this one is a little bit surprising. I would think they would have gone with maybe an Aaron Judge or even a Juan Soto, but the baseball writers disagree, going with Mero Reyes as of right now. There's still about a week left in this season, or not a week, a month left in this season. So guys, that is going to go ahead and wrap up this episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. Next time out, we will go ahead and start the month of September. We won't finish the regular season next episode, but we will get some more clarity with the playoff picture. It's gonna be a good one, so make sure you go ahead, do me a favor, smash that like button for me, hit subscribe as well if you have to be brand new. This is JohnJake Baseball on the mic signing off. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.